Well, greetings everybody and welcome to another video. Today we have News Day here on JP, and it's a special one. That's right, I don't use that lightly. It is a special one because it's the incredibly, unbelievably, possibly, almost godly, rarely story event quest. That's right, we are actually getting a story event. The last time we've gotten a story event was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You get the idea. Umbra is just alliterating as best he can. So anyway, today's the 16th JP update will consist of a new story event, and you can see that, well, you basically got two potential characters. We'll tell you which one it is in just a second, but is focused on Curry when he was younger, as well as Glassy's mom. And we also see, wait a second, who the fuck is that in the background? Who's that brown-haired individual? He looks, dare I say, even slightly familiar. What's going on there? Well, you're just going to have to wait for the story event to come out. Maybe Umbra will even do a spoilerific about it. But in the meantime, let's switch over and talk about that brand new character, shall we? And yeah, it is Glassy's mom, of all things, will be our new character. She is a Ice Elemental 100 cost, and dare I say, is this the end of Shrekken? Is this the end of Wind Domination, potentially, period? The combination of her plus Ice Jaden might be really bad news for a bunch of different teams, and it'll be very interesting to see where this character lands. New main bow job, which you would expect for a character like this, as well as a Dragoon, spear-based sub-job, which is also pretty interesting, and Soldier, just to round out the what? Anyway, by the way, great rack that this character probably needs to lay that bow down upon. Get your minds out of the gutter, here we go. Starting off with our commander ability, allies whose main job is sword, red mage, we know a character who's in there, Gilgamesh, bow, gun, or glove equipment. When their HP falls below 50%, CT builds up faster for 3 turns with a haste effect as well as reaction block rate once for the entire party. Pretty interesting. The reaction block rate is an increase for the entire party, but the way I'm reading this, the CT up is only for the first character potentially. But the wording on these is sometimes a little weird and probably needs to be tested. Either way, pretty good. Also should say that it is for the duels category. So those of you who are interested in duels might be interested in this. Next up, Limit Burst destroys barriers that reduce physical damage. So she is essentially going to be a physical damage dealer. And Re-Raise is removed, deals extra large damage to targets within range. You can see it is a big plus pattern AoE, and while it doesn't look incredibly impressive for range right now, I'd be really surprised if this wasn't an ability that can be increased through range up effects. So this character will probably be totally fine, and this will probably be a pretty nasty status effect to essentially get rid of barriers and re-raise from afar, and that could be pretty nasty for certain teams. We'll have to wait and see, but cool. Also, second ability, Frost Spread. Limit Burst, I think, is called Hunt of the Wazettes, or at least that's what I'm going to claim it is, at least for now. Frost Spread reduces resistance to AoE attacks to targets within range for 3 turns, deals large damage, removes HP absorption effects as well as additional damage activation states, and has a chance of gradually reducing AP from a frostbite effect. So in case you were wondering, this is the most anti-Shrekken ability ever, and to be fair, yeah, Shrekken's been around a really long time, so I'm not too terribly surprised that we're finally seeing a character that can come around and just remove her. How this affects X-Death actually could be quite nasty, so Globalers who were salivating just, over the idea of X-Def and Shrekken that I've been enjoying for the past week. Might not be much of a thing coming up really soon. Of course, her accuracy and how she handles with the evade characters will be quite interesting, and whether or not, what kind of team exactly comes out of this. But it's a pretty powerful looking set of abilities that we have, at least for now. And I'll be, again, hard pressed to imagine a world where this character isn't going to be really strong, since ice is technically really strong. Also, master ability. Owned range attack, basically damage resistance penetration rate for her damage type, as well as reaction block rate of 20 for the resistance penetration, just so you know. So yes, Ice Mommy is coming. Have you been good? Have you been saving up your piggy bank? Well, this might be the one for you. And we'll keep an eye, of course, on what teams she falls into very quickly, although imagine Ice and Gilgamesh will probably be a team there, but I can also see Jaden being on that team. A couple of pieces of equipment, nothing too terribly impressive here. The story event, as we've already covered. Class match will be coming back for this week. I don't remember seeing anything particularly that interesting, but sure, why not? Whatever. And an arena map as well that focuses heavily on ice. So win teams be damned, you're going to have a bad week. So yeah, that's basically it for JP for news so far. I don't think that we'll see too terribly much else in tomorrow's update, just usual banner news, as well as that's basically it. I think we're out of the New Year's period at this point, so you can basically not expect too much in the way of bonuses. But I am very, very curious about this story. Story events don't happen enough, in my opinion, anymore, and I would really love to see more of these story events. Whether Seymour is just a child soldier, or potentially he's actually 6,000 years old. He's one of those 6,000-year-old vampires that anime loves to get into. But just talking really quickly, what do I think that this is potential for another character to come along? Well, hard to say. Last time we saw one of these story events, we saw two characters come out of it. We saw Helena, young version, and old young version. This time we're seeing Lassy's mom, but I am kind of having a hard time believing that Kuri is going to be the character that we get, because that would be two archers in a very short period of time. And what element are they going to make him? Water? Potentially? Like water and ice archer seems a little bit too much in too short of a period of time. So I'm going to say this. I don't think it'll probably be him, but I also am not too terribly inconvinced. I do think that potentially what we might see here, maybe we are going to see as a samurai come back a little bit later, since we are getting that. There is no free-to-play character coming with this event that I have seen thus far. So that's, just whatever it is. But episode 10, once you finish episode 10, A Mother's Wish, you'll get the high difficulty quest for the new bow, and I'll be curious to see how strong that piece of equipment is. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Global video will be coming out shortly.